Our next reader is an author and filmmaker from Athens, Greece. She holds an MFA from Lindenwood University, and her work has appeared or is forthcoming in Ceased Cows, the first bullshit lit anthology, Crow and Cross Keys, and others. Please welcome Elia KARRA.
Hi. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Kat and Laura, for having me. I'm going to be reading two flash fiction pieces and a creative non-fiction piece. The first one is about my favorite band, My Chemical Romance. It was posted on July 21st, right after the concert in Sweden. So there we go. When Gerard Way steps on the tiny Gröna Lund stage in Stockholm on June 14, 2022, he is wearing what appears to be a holy poncho from another dimension. No one knows where this poncho came from, who brought it to our world, and what its motives are. Perhaps Gerard himself doesn't know. All we know is that its name is Doug. It tells us so with giant black letters it has vomited all over itself. Doug is a thing of beauty, a green of ancient forests, shimmering with the light of 1,000 distant stars, all woven in the sensible, water-repellent nylon fabric. Every time Gerard jumps and twists, Doug unfolds, reveals the galaxies and nebulae hidden in its pleats. They light up the night and blind us. They burn their image into our retinas, a blessing, a keepsake better than any tour shirt. After the gig, the most sought-after item is the green nylon poncho. Factories can't keep up with demand, and they begin to sell for hundreds of dollars on Depop and the black market. Some spray paint their savior's name on the front of their ponchos, reinventing themselves in its image. Others consider it a blasphemy, and the believers separate into two different factions within the first week. Reporters and believers alike gather outside the tour van daily. They want to know where Doug is. They want to know if Doug has a message for its devoted followers, if it's a force of good or evil, if it has chosen Gerard as its prophet. Mikey greets them with a smile, gently tells them they must go. They don't listen. They chant, we'll carry on, and pull the hoods over their heads in prayer in what has been established as the Ponchian way. It's only weeks later that Gerard emerges once more, yet again clad in Doug. Doug likes the attention, we think. In the reverent silence, we hear it buzz and hum the primordial tune of the universe. It's a hypnotic sound that reverberates through our bones and our flesh and our souls, and leaves us more than we were before. Mikey stands next to Gerard, one arm wrapped around his shoulders in solidarity. Doug's hood drapes over it like a lazy puppy, and we know he too, like Gerard, like us, has been chosen. Gerard doesn't say anything, but Doug does, in a low drone we only understand because it speaks to us in the oldest tongue in any world. Its stars and galaxies flash and burn like fireworks and neon lights and all things bright and beautiful, and we say yes, yes, you're the one we've been waiting for. So the second one is about skating, and specifically about Mike Osterman, who is a freestyle skateboard champion, and I'm so sorry to him if he ever finds this. I don't know, I have no excuses. So the thing about two-time freestyle skateboard champion Mike Osterman is that if you ask him to walk the dog, you'll have piss all over your house. And maybe you don't mind that. Maybe it's enough to watch Mike Osterman swivel the board under his feet, flashing the blues and greens and yellows of his deck. He can do it infinitely, a ceaseless loop of nose to tail, and he does. He stays on that skateboard month after month. The asphalt grinds his donut wheels down to their core. The crowd that gathers around him only grows. First a couple of neighborhood kids, then the neighborhood, then the whole town, all of them hypnotized by the rhythmic tap-tap-tapping of his wheels, the kaleidoscopic bursts of color. You are hypnotized too, every time he does this. Bark Ruffalo is forgotten at home, and you know he'll piss in every corner, chew your new $200 shoes to bits, and stare at the front door wondering why you left him all alone. Still, you are caught in Mike Osterman's gravitational pull like so many others. 1,000 planets against the burning sun. It's about time I stopped asking him to walk the damn dog, you think. He does it on purpose, you think. You've had enough arguments about it for him to know you're asking him to walk the actual dog, not perform his skate tricks. But you never tried to stop him once he's on the board. You couldn't even if you tried. He won't stop until he's ready to stop. You've lost track of time. Sometimes it lasts for a few days, others for months. Now it must have been years. You don't know when his hair turned grey or if yours is grey too. The wheels are all gone, and the trucks rip out morsels of tar from the ground with every swing of his board, shoot them through the air like confetti. He'll stop, you think. He always stops. He'll stop this time too. You imagine him stepping off the tattered remains of his deck and burying them in the backyard under the pine. You imagine him smiling, though he only ever smiles, at the grit of a grip tape under the soles, the chants of his name, the eyes of the crowd. Saying grit of a grip tape 3 times really fast. And the third one is a creative nonfiction piece about how my school hated me and thought I was going to hell. So, it is a real story, by the way. It's completely real. Nothing about this is fictional. When I was 4 years old, I caught fire in a church. My then still favorite white puffer jacket engulfed in incandescence, the embroidery of a friendly bear on the back falling off the melting polyester in bits. Haze and smoke filled the church, the smell of incense and burning tires and beeswax from the candles. I was a candle myself, set alight by the careless hand of the old woman next to me. Probably. No one saw what happened. One moment I wasn't on fire and the next moment I was. Later, when the initial shock wore off, I like to think that I had unlocked some superpower. It seemed fitting that it would be fire. It was the spark I never had. I could imagine my 90s transformation montage, going from the kid who always played alone to the king, not the queen, I didn't want to be a queen, of the playground. They would ask me to warm their hands and their lunches. They would bring me plastic spoons to melt. They would love to watch me. Later still, when I understood such things better, when I had already spent years in a Christian school, lectured daily about all my 10-year-old kid's sins, and after so long without another fire incident to confirm my superpower suspicions, I like to think that my spontaneous combustion was due to God not liking me very much. Perhaps my baptism didn't wash away the original sin. Perhaps I had done something unforgivable at 4 years old, like play Pokémon, the stuff of the devil, or curse at my mother when she forced me to throw the tattered remains of my beloved jacket in the trash, without so much as a eulogy. Or maybe God just knew I would grow up to be a piece of shit and wanted to nip it in the bud. I still like to think that sometimes. It's not as nice as throwing fireballs out of your hands, not as impressive, but it's something. My go-to thing to say when someone asks a fun fact about me, along with my bacon number, 3. I'd probably abuse a superpower anyway. So that was all from me. Thank you very much. Thank you again, Ben, and Laurel, and Kat. And yeah, see you later, guys.